Hey everybody, good evening. How are we all tonight? Who have we got in the chat? Hey Michael. Hey Bashi. I think Bashi's new to joining us. Charlie, hope you had a good weekend. Thank you, Bashi. Okay, so for Bashi, I know the other people have been here before. I'm here to answer any questions. What I thought I'd do tonight is, if you joined the stream the other night, I played your track that I did release a millet. And I left it where most people would usually finish their tracks. So what I thought I would do is just show you the kind of stuff that I'm doing, which gives you that extra 10% because it was a question that somebody asked. But before I do that, have we got any questions, anyone? Where are you joining us from, Bashi? Can you hear us okay, Charlie? Is everything okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do tonight, I'll play you the track for a little bit so you can have a listen to it. Orlando, nice. My sister lives in Key West, so hopefully I'll be over there soon. Okay, cool. This is a track I'm doing with Lisa Millett. I've been working on it today. It's my own track, so I'll play it here, and then we'll talk about the things that I've done. Okay, hi Aaron, hi Michael. Welcome, Sunday night. Got quite a few people on tonight. So I thought what I'd do tonight is answer any questions first, and I'm going to go through this and show you the kind of things I've done to give it that extra 10%, to give it a bit more of an extra feel. So I'll get cracking, and when you ask any questions, I'll answer them. So I'm going to start with a kick, and I'm going to go down, because the thing about the extra 10% is just attention to detail. That's what the extra 10% is. Making it feel like a journey, just putting bits in there that fill gaps. So the one thing that I do is this. I'll get the track, I'll get it to where it is, and I'll sit here, close my eyes, or I'll take the screen off, I'll stand up behind and I'll dance to it. And I'll dance to it and I'll listen to it and I'll feel the track and think, oh, it needs something there, or that, or this, or this. And I'll do that. I'll go through it and I'll go, right, okay, that's fine. Go away. So I'll leave it tonight. I'll come back tomorrow and listen with fresh ears. And that's when I'll see if there's anything else that I can put in there. And that extra 10% is when you come to it and you think you're doing it for the sake of doing it, then you've gone too far. Because you can do too much. And that's the key, is knowing when you've not. So I'm just going to show you the things that I've done. And, you know, this is the difference between, you know, a good producer and a great producer is the extra 10%. So what I'll do is I'll go through it quickly and I'll show you what I've put on everything so you can see that as well. And we'll take it from there. So I've got a low kick. And the low kick, well, this is the kick. Okay, which is that. And all that is like it's a synthesized bass drum. So it's a 909 with a decay, and I've pitched it so it's in F, so it's just below the bass, and then I've added a bit of top. But then what I've done is I've got the Fab Filter Pro Q4 and I've filtered off the top. I also found that taking out 122 made the kick better. It kind of separated the two, top and the bottom. Let's have a listen to that. You can't really hear it, but when you isolate that frequency, it's a bit boomy, but and the thing is it I can hear the difference when I'm on my big speakers. I'm in my headphones, so I can't actually hear it now. It was very bass heavy, this, so I really put a low cut on it. And I did, first of all, I must have tried some multi-band compression, and that wasn't enough. Yeah, I've used iHouse U tonight, punch box. I do use it sometimes. I use Kick as well, but I've got Kick 3. I've just not had time. Sorry, I am going to learn that tomorrow. Oh God, I've got clients all day tomorrow. I'm not here tomorrow, by the way, so I'll learn that Tuesday for you. So I rolled it off. I don't normally roll off the bottom of the kick, but it just sounded better. And you can see there's something going on there. So it just sounded better for me. And then I rolled off the top. I didn't want the top. Now, today I bounced this kick down and I rolled it down all the way down here, but then decided I didn't like it. So then I've gone back to the kick and using punch box. And then I put a bit of a clipper on. And that's just taking off the hi-hat or the clip bit. You can see it there. It's not distorting the kick, really. Oh, shit. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Forgot to share my screen. Okay, so. Yeah, punch box for the kick this time. I just like the 909 sometimes, or the Sine. I did go between the two. And I tuned it to an F, and then I put these clicks in, and I really liked it. It really cuts through the mix. that was it before, but it was just a bit woolly. And then when I had that in, I had the top kick a bit louder. Oh, it's gone down in volume. Okay, there. And then I've got another kick. It seems to be quite low in volume at the moment. I never automate. So that is just, I want it to be housey, I want it to be old school, I want it to be a bit raw. I've actually sampled my own kick from my track featuring on the Sanze. So fair, it's credit to Brian Tapper, it's a Brian Tapper kick. So I've just sampled the top of that. I needed something a bit old school. Oh no, I've not. I've sampled, have I done? Yes, in this, I've sampled my kick with the Sanze on Sulfuric off the record. It just sounds so good. So just to give it that you know, that analog, old school, raw house sound. It sounds a little bit distorted, but it's all right. And on the kick, I've just made it mono. That's it. Okay, but what I've done here is this. So this is the extra 10% going to that, right? I've automated the top kick. I've automated, so it kicks in, it just gives it a slight lift and then comes down and then lifts up throughout the track. And what it does, it just gives, you know, when something kicks in, it just gives it, you don't miss it. And like I said the other day, at the beginning of the track, you've not got a lot in, so you're not going to hear it as much anyway. So it's good to do that with most things. So. Just very slightly, but it makes a difference. Okay, so I've automated that, and then just done a few double kicks throughout it. It's a busy track anyway with the drums, so I've not gone crazy with the kick and done much there. So that's the kick, and then the percussion. Okay, so what have I done on the percussion? So again, I've done the same. What's this one? EQ8. Oh, I've done a boost on the sides, very slightly, on the top end. So if you listen to this. It's just give it like a half a dB boost. It's very slight, you know. I did this towards the end of my, tomorrow give it a bit more, because I've obviously given a bit more here. Let's have a listen here. It just gives a sense of being a slightly bit wider, along with other elements coming in. And then you've got the ride, and it just opens up a slight bit wider on the very high frequencies, a bit more air. Okay, so I've got that. I had a clap in there, and I've changed the clap. So I've sampled the clap, or I've not sampled the clap. I've got an old, again, I wanted to go a bit more raw, old school. So I've got a sample from a Jeremy Sylvester loop sample pack. And I've just added this in. Hey Joseph, is it your morning? We've got Australia in the house today. Nice to see you, mate. So the clap, it's just sampled off and over. It's a garage kind of clap, so lo-fi house, same kind of stuff. And I've done the same thing with that. I've automated the level of the clap throughout the track. And the reason why I've done that is it just makes things lift up a little bit more in certain times, so it's not just linear all the time. You know, think about your journey and think, oh, have I just done it straight? Or could I make this tiny little feelings that you get, the things that create the journey? And don't forget here, I've added a bit more kick, I've turned the clap up, and here where I do it, I have a bit more stereo spread, and there's numerous things happening at the same time. So I'll go through most things and do it. So on the snare, I've not got anything on that. Let's have a listen to that. Just a bit of a clipper, cowbell, which actually wants to come down a little bit. And then I've used this, okay. Have I automated that? No. I've done the whole group. And then I've got this resynth. So this resynth is Backbone, which is by Steinberg. And it's been around for a while, so it's a bit like what Kick 3 is. You drag something in and it resamples it. And it's okay. It works better in Cubase. It could have possibly been massive, yeah? We just never quite got there, but it is really, really good. So there's loads of things, but I can't automate it, which has really pissed me off a little bit. So what I have done is I have put it in, and I've got some certain things that I can automate, and this is what I've got. So that's the original cowbell. I dropped the cowbell in. I did this. You know, just messing around. Added a little something in the track. It's a really good little feel, that. And then what I've done, I've just added different variations throughout the track. I've made it a bit wider. I've got the LFO, and then I've got a rim, just a standard 808 by the sounds of it. Native, is that a reverb? That, yeah, flex verb. And then I've just EQ'd it to fit the mix. And then standard clip, I've clipped it a little bit just for loudness. Just taking the top off it, but it's really helps the mix. Okay, and then I've got the clap pat. So then I've got this clap pattern in a few times. So I've got an 808 clap for that, and it kind of contrasts to the other claps that I've had, because I don't want them in the same position in the mix. I've got a Valhalla verb, over reverberated, but it sounds good in the mix. I have clipped it after the reverb because it's quite loud in the mix, and then just last minute I thought it was lost in the mix, so I added a big stereo spread to it. I tried a pan first, that didn't work. So that's the mid drums. And on the mid drums, I've not got anything. It's not like me. It's because a lot of it's come out of the S2400, so it's quite lo-fi anyway. I've got a 16s hat, which is quite low in the mix. It's not 16s, it's a pattern. It's a bit 808 it, and then I've got an open hat. And I've got a micro shift on that. That's just giving it a bit of stereo spread. Nice. And then I've got a ride. And then I've just got the standard clip. It's just getting that attack. Can't really hear it, but I've gone to town with a standard clip for some reason. And they've got another open hat, which I did later on, so let's have a listen to that. Okay, so it's a different frequency. This one mustn't have been enough on its own. Let's listen to the two together. Yeah, it's just adding a bit more of an uplift to the track in certain places. And then obviously it's not in all the time. Again, it's just making things go up and down. And it's just another frequency to the hat, that's all it is. It's not in the break, and it's there to the end, but it's just like here's different, these little gaps are different. Lots of little things make that 10% that we're talking about. And a crash, I've got nothing on a crash, just an echo boy. And then on the drums, I've automated all that. And then I've not got any, well, I've got the LFO, which is sidechaining the whole thing very slightly, like I've got on the music and everything else. And I've just monoed the sides, and I've given the sides a bit of a boost. That's obviously with the automation above 5k, and that's it. And I guess I don't need, it's not saying to me, it's not shouting me out going, oh yeah, I've got to, put distortion on, I've got to do this. There's quite a lot on there that I think that, it's not saying to me, oh, I need this. You guys might just want to try stuff and A/B on and off and see whether it works, just so you get used to what something sounds like. I quite often use an API on drums. I quite often use the HG2 by Plugin Alliance, sometimes Decapitator, different things, depends on what's in that group. Okay, so then we've got the Prophet. So all the synths are from the Prophet and the Moog and the 303. I don't know if you use the 303 on this actually. Yeah, I'll come to that in a second, Adrian. Oversampling. So I recorded this in from the Prophet. Let's have a listen to it. And what I did when I recorded it in, I got the MIDI in and I just twisted the knobs and moved it. So this is a live recording throughout. What I've put on there is Spectre, just giving it a boost around 900 hertz. I would have done that in the mix. I've got DBX on it. Oh, I don't know why I've got DBX on it. Bit of compression, and then I've put the Purple 77, which is yeah, it's just giving it a bit of body. Quick attack, slower release. Controlling them peaks a little bit. I'd have tried the Fairchild, but obviously I didn't like it. And then I've got the a flanger, which is UAD MXR. Now I've automated that, and this again is that the stuff you got to do. So I've just done little things, so it just sounds like it's got a little something happening. And it's not in your face in the track, but so there is a little bit of it on. So let's listen to it there now. I like what that tiny little bit does. Yeah, but that's just autumn. I've done that by hand. I don't normally do by hand. I would normally start scratch and just automate it via the push. Okay. Lexicon, reverb, UAD, just a hall. I think I've automated that. So I've automated the wet on that. Again, at the beginning I don't went on full, so I've turned it up as it's gone along, and I've automated this by hand. And then today I just thought it was too bright, so I added this, which is, I think we've been through it before. It's like a version of what the SP1200 and the AK 950 sound like. So it basically just bit crusher filter, and what I did was it's as though when in the old days we would record something in fast because you didn't have the memory side, and then pitch it down. It's like supposed to give that effect in the aliasing. So let's have a listen. So what it did was I pulled down the filter, and it kind of just gave it a bit more body, and I just really liked what it did. Let me just play it too quickly. So this less. Just to give a bit more of an old school feel, and the filter sounds really good. So that's really good. You just needed it in the mix with everything else, and then a bit of a clipper. Just a soft clipper catching the top. Okay, and then what else have I got automated in there? So I've got the EQ8, which is the top end filter. Is it top end? Yeah, the gain, the output gain, the MXR, and the Lexicon. I've then got the Moog sound, which I've taken out a bit at the bottom end, top and tailed it. I've then got Spiff, just increasing the transient really around 363, just so it knocked up, give it a bit more edge there, because this synth is a bit thin, you see. Because it's mono, what I've done is I've just added an echo boy, but I put it on ping pong and just very low, so it just makes it sound quite a bit wider, because the Moog for my American friends is mono synth, and I put a 30-second delay on one side and a 64 on the other, and it's very light. It just makes it sound a bit wider. And it didn't need a reverb. I don't want to put shit in there. It's all about the lead. So lead one, all about lead one. That's the one with the reverb. This one doesn't need a reverb, but that delay did make it sound a bit wider. I would have tried a reverb. Then what I've got here, Moog lead 01. So then I've got this. That's just a frequency. It's just a frequency in there that just gives it a bit of a lift there that you don't hear anywhere else. Let's hear it going out of it. Come on, baby, come on over to me. Come on, baby, come on over to me. And I like it when it comes out of it, because it goes into it and it comes out, and it just kind of, the track still lifts because of the low piano that comes in. The energy kind of lifts up a little bit. It was just a little something. I just tried it. I liked it. I didn't want to go overboard with it. It's only in that part of the track. And these are the things, the extra 10% is like, there's just something in there. I don't know what it is. I can't get my head around it. It just lifts it up a little bit more. And then I've got the two pianos. I've got the low piano and the high piano. I mean, they sound quite drastic there, but they're not in the track. So I've basically got on the high piano just a bit of a low cut. It's an M1 piano, piano mix 1 because it's wide, and I messed around it so it didn't monoize. It's got an ozone widener on with imager and just a bit of a clipper. And then on the second one, I've got the same, but I've got a filter. So what would we do with a filter? So I'm messing around with the cutoff. So it's building up in certain places and going down. Like and again, I've got the cutoff, and then sometimes I've built the res up. I've turned the resonance up as well, and you could hear that. Then I've just done that like 4 times in the track. I don't do it every single time with the resonance. I want the track to feel like it's not just building blocks. So I've done that, and then on the pianos, I've just got a Pro Q4. What's that doing? Oh, so on the speakers I was listening, and I just felt that the kick was a bit. I was A-B'ing it to a Kasim track. This kick was really coming through, which is why I changed my kick. I want it to have the same energy, but I want it to be a bit more old school housey. And I just felt like the centre there, the vocal was there, the kick was there, the clap was there, but it was just a little bit muddy, and I wanted everything to the sides, but then I didn't want it to the sides. So all I did was I messed around and just did a dip in the middle at 938, like I went from side to side looking for it, and in the mids just dipped it down 3 dB. So let's have a listen to that. So what I did with the music, with the pianos is, it doesn't really make a difference. You can really notice specifically when the vocal's in, right? So when I do an instrumental, because I will do an instrumentalist, because that's what it was, I'll take that out. But it just dips it in the middle, and it just makes the vocal have more space, and it actually makes the kick come through a little bit more, which I really like in them frequencies. So yeah, so I did that. That was the last thing that I did. Okay, that's the pianos. The bass. So the bass might still be work in progress. So this is the sub that I got from the Moog. And then I've got a trillion. And I've got them. And that one's obviously too compressed, but stop listening to them. I'll just go through them now. See, I'm listening on my headphones, so I can't feel it, and it's about feeling it. This really. So I must have obviously, these have just got a bit more mid-range in them. 2 different Moog basses. So I've not quite decided which one of them it is yet. And then nothing on the bus, because I've got it on there. And then I've got my effects, and on my effects, I've just got a few different effects. I don't need loads of effects for this track because I've got loads of other things going on in the journey, and a house track isn't really about too many effects. I've got a couple of snare rolls and a kick build here, because in a club I like to feel the energy of the kick underneath it, like this. Okay, so that's the effects. Now, I've got the vocals. So there's loads of things going on there for the extra 10% for the journey, right? Even just little things like in the chorus, adding a bit of stereo spread to the top end, you know, turning the top of the kick up a little bit. Just little things that just make a difference and keep it interesting. The filters, the flanger every now and then. I must have like 20 different things happening, you know. Just keep it interesting, and not just what's in the track. And you know, I don't want to hear the kick, top of the kick too loud in the beginning when everything's not in it anyway. So I would do that anyway. Okay, vocals. So we went through the vocals the other night, and these are the ad libs. So what I've done with the ad libs is I've gone through them, and I've done loads of delays. I've not just put a delay on, because I don't want a delay all the time, and I don't want it in the vocal, so just bits and bats and different volumes. I didn't go for a straight delay. I just wanted it a bit off, to be quite honest with you, on this one.
Come on over to me. Right now. Right now.
You can see that I've got it to work in different places. So that one was right now, and then this one is on the now. And that's the thing, is just making it different. Now, obviously, I don't do this in isolation. I do it in the mix. Always do it in the mix once everything's in there, okay? What I also did on the ad lib, or the lead vocal really, is got a Valhalla shimmer. And just did this a couple of times. So instead of having a delay, just have a bit of reverb. It's a nice little touch. Again, you know, it's not the same thing all the time. Don't be lazy.
Right now, come to me.
I've got it there. I've got it here. It works. See, I'm using it to work with everything else in the track. So listen to it here.
Come on over to me. Come on.
So instead of a delay, that reverb extended there goes really well into the vocals, into the chant. And then I've just done a little bit here. Major, just a little thing, you know, loads of little things like this that aren't necessarily right in your face. That one's quite loud, but just little things when people listen to it, it's just something to keep it more interesting, you know, as with all the different things. And then I've got the lead vocal. I've changed the volume in the break, and then I've got a delay on it, which is a different delay again. So this one is the one that is different timing. So I just messed around with it, and I didn't make it like a quarter note or an eighth note. I just made it a bit mad, really. This one is in time, What is that one there? That one is, yeah, it's the Echo Boy. And that's a quarter note. So that is on the beat. And then I've just done it, you know, little bits. So just a little thing here, just to get in the background.
It's you right here. It's you right here, right now. Right now.
So it wasn't too much, you know, I've not done loads to it. It's just a couple of things. And all these things, it's like, imagine all these things, it's like putting a sample in at each different place, you know, that's an effect. So I've not got lots of effects, but I have got lots of effects. So I've got that, and then I've turned the chant, turned that down in the break. The lead hook, we went through this the other night. I've got the tube tech on all of them actually for these. And on that chant, I've got, let's have a look at it.
Me. Come on, baby, come on over to me. Come on, baby, come on over to me. Come on, baby, come on over to me. Come on.
In fact, I've only got the tube tech on that. And then, I've used a send, which is not like me. I've sent that to a Seventh Heaven, which we went through the other night. A chamber, reverb. And then, there's that lead hook. So in the lead hook, I've put a doubler on there. And what I've done is I've introduced it slightly. So let's have a listen to that.
Come on, baby. What I need is you right here now. What I need is you right here now. What I need is.
And that's just give that mono vocal a bit of body, but just a bit more stereo spread to it. I mean, I can't really hear it in the headphones as well. But yeah.
Now what I need, now what I need is you right here. Now what I need is you right here now.
And I would have tried a couple of things, but I like that doubler on it. That's a Waves doubler. I just turned down the other voice. So yes. And then that's the vocals. Oh, and I've got some tape on there. I'll just try it sometimes. I'll try a few things, see if it works. Just a bit of tape.
What I need is you right here, right now. Right now. We can do a little this, do a little that.
See, it's not really doing anything.
What I need is you right here now. What I need is you right here now. What I need.
It is giving it a little bit of an edge. And it does have a bump that. In fact, let me just check that vocal quickly.
What I need is you right here, right now.
Because the tape adds a bump, you could see it, all this rumble at the bottom we don't really need.
What I need is you right here, right now.
You might not be able to hear it, but it's energy. It's energy going into the limiter, and we don't really want that. So that's the vocals. And that's it. Okay, so I've done that so far. And then I've got this extra bits of vocals. And what I was going to do with that was get a simpler, drag that in and drag it into there. And then bring this over here. And then go to slice mode. Change the sensitivity. Now it's all, each one of those markers there is panned. So let's have a listen. Okay, they're a bit short. Let's go make it a little less.
I need more.
I mess around with it.
Is you right here, right now. What I need is you.
So what, I don't like the positions that's in. So what I can do with that is just get these and create new markers, you know, like that. And that will be one. And then just create another marker there, so that's the next one. And just make it so that it's on the beginning of the words and above. And then give it, you know, maybe just do a little loop with it. I'll always have a go at a sampler. Sometimes I might have a tss or a ah or a ch in there and just use that in as part of the percussion and stuff like that. So Bashi's asked, each chant vocal is being panned. Does that give it a bit more stereo on body? I see that done on a couple of tracks. Yes, it does. So vocals are generally mono recordings, and it depends on what you want in your mix. It's totally up to you, but I want my lead vocal at the front there, right? It's like, imagine it's a band on stage, right? I want my lead vocal there. Let me just put the other camera back on. So I want my lead vocal there. And I want the backing vocals behind it. But, you know, I can sit them back in the mix, right? So they're there, but really, they're still, you know, fighting with it a little bit. So pan them across, have them a bit wider. I mean, sometimes you can do like, you know, left harmonies and right harmonies. Sometimes you put the highs there, the mids there, or like it's different vocalists. Sometimes you just do a set for the left and a set for the right, but you don't use the same one and duplicate it. You just get them to do loops and get two that sung the same. But in this case, what Lisa's done is, I mean, Lisa came to stay with me for Christmas, just over Christmas, New Year, and we just had a mess around. This track is just messing around. She wasn't meant to do vocals. She came up and she listened to tracks and said, oh, I love this, and just had a bit of a jam. We did about 2 or 3 tracks. And just come up with some lyrics, just jammed, and I had an idea for this hook here, and she just came up with it, and just jammed it, and she's a great singer and songwriter, so just picked up the words. So yeah, so it isn't meant to be, it's not a full vocal list, and to be honest with you, I didn't really want to have this in the track. Like, I didn't want it to be like a soulful house track. I wanted it to be more of a club track, so a bit more like I've sampled a Lisa Miller or Lolita Holloway vocal. But, you know, just a bit more of all this kind of stuff.
Oh, what I need is you right here now. What I need is...
Just with the ad-libs. But then, you know, you don't tell Lisa what to do, she tells you. So she wrote all these.
Come on, baby, come on over to me.
Which aren't really in genre for this kind of track. It's meant to be like a Cassine track, but more housey. I don't know what it's meant to be. It's meant to be something I like. And you know, my track's housey, so furic, a bit edgier, a bit raw, like the drums and the clap that we've used. But then also I want it to be a bit more banging to fill a set like, you know, I love that Cassim Love Desire track, which is the Little Louis kind of recreation. But the thing is, it works. And I'm just like, well, you tell me, guys, what do you think? I'm like, okay. It's not genre, but it just works for me. It sounds really good. So, I mean, I think what I'm trying to say is this, is when I'm working with clients, we have to get a roadmap. We have to get them in the direction they want to go. And like, if they came to me with this track, I would go, I love it. You know, what label is trying to go for? And I would, you know, it's in one way, that vocal makes it a bit too soulful for some people who might play like kind of D-tron-y, housey, you know, new groove type stuff. But then for the people who would like that vocal, more soulful people, the music might be a bit too tough and a bit hard for them. But I'm not in that position. I'm just making tracks I love now. And if people want to sign them, great. If they're not, I'm going to release them on my label. The reason I'm making a lot of tracks is I just, you know, I do a bit of DJing still, like Ibiza and stuff like that, but I don't do loads. I'm making tracks for that I love, but also that I can make videos for you guys. So yeah, that's the track, and I'll probably go back and listen with fresh ears, and I'll probably get those chops in that sampler, and I'll probably filter them all out and make a bit of add them to the drums, just to give it a bit of something a little bit extra. So any questions on this track before I start talking about oversampling? There's a bit of a delay actually between when I speak and when you write. Okay, right. Oversampling. For those of you that don't know what oversampling is, it's this, right? There's something called the Nyquist level, right? And the Nyquist level is the point in the digital domain that when audio goes up to that point, it kind of bounces back in. And that's called aliasing. I'm trying to explain this right. Yeah, so basically, like if everything we do, like if I've got a track and it's here and I've got a filter on the top, you know, at 30k, 20k, everything that we do, like compression, EQ, you know, definitely saturation, we'll add harmonics. And if once them harmonics hit the Nyquist level, they're going to start coming back into the mix, right, as aliasing. I mean, I'm going to talk about this first of all, right? And that aliasing there can sound a bit ringing. It can sound a bit weird. We love aliasing sometimes. You know, I've put that plugin on there to get a bit of aliasing. So the aliasing is like, it's a bit crushing, but it's a sound you get from it coming back in from this plugin. You know, let's see if we can get it on that. I mean, that is really pushing it, but it's hard to hear, right? So sometimes, you know, I've got amazing speakers. Sometimes I can hear it as a bit of ringing. Okay. So what happens is this, right? The Nyquist level, once it hits the Nyquist level, the signal comes back in. The best way I can explain it without a diagram, right? So every time we've got a track and we had a bit of automation, it might go up to that point and then come back in and create an issue in the mix. Now, what is a Nyquist level? The Nyquist level is half of the sample rate on your computer. Okay, so if you're working at 48k, which I do, yeah, a lot because I use video, right? The Nyquist level, yeah, is at 24k. Okay, so like on a EQ, so up here, 24k. Okay. So it'll hit that and it'll come back in. Okay, so this is the argument with sample rate. So if it was 44,100, it would be 22,500. Okay, once they start hitting that point, they come back in. So what people say is, the bigger the sample rate, the less chance of aliasing. So you go up to 96. The problem with bigger sample rates is you've got bigger files and more CPU and all that kind of stuff, right? So what happens is when you use oversampling, yeah, it extends that Nyquist level. Okay, but the oversampling itself sometimes can create issues in the phase and certain things, and it takes up a lot of CPU. I'm not going to go into that tonight. I'm just going to answer the question, right? So I wanted you to understand the Nyquist level and what the sample rate that we're working at, and so the answer would be to extend it, but we've got oversampling in the plugins, right? So I would generally put something on, right? And then I'll put on the oversampling and turn off. And I can't hear anything in the oversampling, which is generally at the top end. I can't hear it making a difference. You can isolate the top end, then I won't put it on, right? If I'm putting saturation on a full mix, it's most likely going to, or compression or something like that, it's most likely going to create, extra harmonics, which are going to hit the next level and come back in the mix. I use my ears again. But that's the time when I might use it, and it's like the question what I say is this, right? Is can you hear any difference? Yeah, you can tune into aliasing a little bit. Sometimes it's nice. Sometimes you don't care. Sometimes you can't hear it, and if you can't hear it, then what's the point? You know, there's an argument for it. But the way I work is I'll try it and listen to what it does. But sometimes the oversampling can affect the transients of certain things. So I don't always use it. But sometimes I do. So like on my master, I might look at it, when I'm using some tape or something like that. But obviously some things like this will have, oversampling automatically in, so there's nothing you can do. Now, yes, when I'm clipping on the master bus, I will generally do. See, with this one, I've got 16 times oversampling on this clipper on the master bus. And I will listen to that, and I'll go through all the different kinds on this. So on my master bus, just to let you know, on this track, I've got the SSL, fast, slow attack, fast release, 4-1, just tickling it. I've then got this Chandler curve bender, giving a bit of a boost in the lows, in the middle, and then 4.5K bit of stereo boost on the stereo, 2.8K a boost in the mids, and a bit of a boost in the treble in the mids as well, which I'll probably take down, to be honest with you, because I tried it in stereo first of all. I've done a cut on the bass on the sides from 70 hertz on the sides, because this is the mids, this is the sides. I've done a boost at 1200 on the sides, and then a boost at 4.2, half a dB, and then I've done 1.5 dB at 16,000 hertz on the sides. And I would have used my ears for that. I wouldn't have just gone, oh, I'm going to do this, oh, I'm going to do that. God Particle I've not used, it was too much. And then I've used Ozone. And on there, I've used Low End Focus because it sounded good. I didn't need the imager because I've done that in-house. Didn't need the exciter. Clarity sounds really good. And then I used the maximizer, and I used balance. I prefer it. I listened to Delta. The balance was giving me less distortion. So you can listen to the distortion in the track when it's doing. You can see there's a bit more bass bottom end in that there. And I can hear it, the bass, I can hear it's working on the bass. I don't like that. With the balance, I don't hear any low frequencies really. A little bit, maybe turn it down a little bit. So yeah, so I'll use that. I'll dither to 16-bit in this case. It's just a DJ mix. It's not like I've gone to sound it, and I have at minus 0.3. I don't know if you need to do that anymore. I just done it from old school. I really like the isotope stuff a lot more. Somebody told, one of my ex-mentors who was more of a band person, who everything had to be right, told me never to use isotope, but it put me off it for ages. And yeah, and I've used True Peak. So yes, that's the mastering chain. Did that answer your question regarding the oversampling? If you're going to use it, you've usually only got 3 or 4 settings, just try them and see what they do. And see how it affects the transients of things as well. Okay, everyone. Nice Sunday hour there. Thank you for joining me at the weekend. Any more questions? Thank you for joining us, Bashi. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, please listen. I know some of you guys already are. If you're looking for a one-to-one mentorship, drop me a message. We'll arrange a quick Zoom. I'll tell you what it's all about. I had somebody approach me last night and who was watching from America, and they wanted to sign up, but they do hip hop. So I don't do hip hop. And if I say anything to you guys, there's lots of good people out there you can work with. And if you've got a certain genre, I'll try and recommend somebody with techno or drum and bass or something else that would do the same things what I do. I come from a house background. I've done house, disco, recording, tech house. I did was pirate copy. I've done that for years, and Afro and melodic techno. Okay. So that's what I do. I know it. I understand it. I feel it. I can really critique it. And I think when you're mixing music down, you have to be someone that really understands the music, because it's about feeling. So if you are a different genre to all those kind of things, try and find somebody who knows that genre, who's got the experience, who's had the records of that time and time again, who might want to do it. I can recommend loads of people for different kind of genres. So yes. Thanks, Charlie. Bashi, in terms of musical ideas, did you write the piano first? Yes. I always write the lead first. So this track is the way I make my tracks now. So all I'm trying to do, Bashi, is use this for my drums. I still change them, obviously, like I've done in this track. My Prophet and my Moog and the 303. That's all I'm trying to use for my own personal music. And just because I want to create a sound, I want it to be right, and I'll generally get something out of these. Now, there's lots of good synths and lots of stuff like the Artillery that I really love. So I'm not only using them, but I will try and get the most out of the analog stuff, because I just think it sounds a lot better. But I won't necessarily always use that. As you heard with the basses, I've got them 2 versions of a Moog bass, and then I've got the Trillion plugin, and I'm not sure which I'm going to use, so I don't stick to it and say, oh, that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to do what's best for the track. And if you don't know, Trillion, best bass plugin out there by far for like kind of has real bass in there, like bass playing, but then it's got all the old synths in there. Some of them are samples and some of them are like synthesized, but they sound great. So you've got the Moog, you've got the ARP, you've got the Tetra, the Korg, things I've never heard of. The Metasonic Ass Blaster, I've never heard of that. The Oberheim, the Oscar. And just get to know these through going through them. And, I've never used another plugin for bass besides serum. The thing is, is I tell everyone I always try and start with the lead. I'll get some drums in there, but I won't get anything melodic in there. Always start with the lead because it's 100 times easier to write a groove to a lead than it is to write a lead to a groove, because you've already created melodic content and groove in the groove. Amazing. Adrian, I'm going to tell you something actually. Let me just show you something quickly on here. So if you search for, watch this video, it's amazing. This video here, I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat now when it's finished. It's a fantastic video, and it's all about how it sounds. Dan Worrell, the guy who does these videos, is amazing. This is perhaps one of the best tutorials on the internet. I recommend everybody watches it, and he definitely explains it a lot better than I do. So yes, I'll put it in the comments. Please, everybody, it would really, really help me if you like, share, comment afterwards in the comments section, and I'll reply, because I'm still trying to build up my following. And then, you know, hopefully I'll get more people like Bashi that have just come across the site, and they'll come in and they'll come on board. And yes, I'll see you all tomorrow. Don't forget, guys, if you've got a track you want me to mix, give me a shout on these sessions. We're halfway through the month, just a bit under. And yes, I'm not here tomorrow. Don't forget, I'm not here tomorrow, by the way, because I've got a client in, and I've had that client in for a while, one of my American clients. So yes, have a great evening and have a great week if you're not joining us. But yeah, please like, share, and leave a comment in the main comments. Thank you.